Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadidamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Early on in my spiritual journey, a teacher said to me, "Do you know how you know what you want in life? By what you get." It sounds funny, doesn't it? But it's not. In fact, everything you are drawing into your life has been created somewhere in your own energy field at some place and time. Today, let's explore what you are manifesting and how to make your manifestations line up with your highest wants and desires. Not your unconscious wants and desires, but your conscious highest wants and desires. Your dreams, those things you really, really would like to create. Namaste and welcome to the Spiritual Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Savithri, Director of the American Reiki Academy and the Vedic Healing Center. I'm a Reiki Master, Vedic Healing Master, and spiritual life coach who has practiced and taught spiritual self-development and healing for more than 30 years, led pilgrimages to India, and studied with Indian gurus. In this show, we cover topics related to metaphysics, Reiki, Vedic healing, yoga, manifestation, spiritual growth, and feng shui, based upon my studies and work in these disciplines. The aim of this show is to help you awaken, develop, and tap into your spiritual power in order for you to manifest love, happiness, success, well-being, peace, and productivity so you may blossom into the highest expression of you. Welcome to today's episode, which is entitled Manifest at a Higher Level. Pay attention to the details. So I started this episode by giving you that quotation from one of my teachers, and I'm going to just explain it again. So she said, "Do you know how you can determine what you want in life? It's by what you get." In other words, whatever shows up in your life has been something that has been present in your energy field, and therefore you have brought it into the physical realm. So today I really want to explore this concept so that we can bring into the physical realm those things we truly want and desire, and not just some random ideas or some negative ideas that we have been harboring in our energy fields. I thought it was kind of a strange statement when she first said it to me because, first of all, we all seem to want all sorts of things that don't actually show up in our lives. And furthermore, what shows up often is not what we want. But if what she said is true, then is it true that all of our results are actually an indicator of what we wanted? On some level, there was a want or a desire, and thus it became produced in the physical realm. So how can this be? Well, one of the reasons is we have unconscious negative desires that are helping us fulfill a reality, but it's the reality of us living at less than who we are. Now, we also have very conscious negative thought forms and ideas that also manifest. So we have conscious and unconscious negative thought forms and emotions. Now, no one wants to live at less than. So how can we get control of the energies in our energy field in order that we can manifest at the highest level possible? And in order for us to have what shows up in our lives be in alignment with our highest self-expression. Now, in my experience, one interesting component of this is that desire or want forms only one part of the manifestation formula. And while there are many components, one key aspect in manifestation that we sometimes overlook is to pay attention to the details. For instance, if I were to ask you what you are trying to create, you might mention a few big dreams. Maybe it's the day when you can buy a beautiful home you've been thinking about, or finally meet your true love, the partner you are going to spend your life with and get married. Or maybe you have the desire to write a best-selling book, or get in the best shape of your life, or really excel in your career, and you have an idea of what that would look like. But what about the steps needed in order for you to get the dreams to manifest? And furthermore, within those steps, what about the seemingly teeny, tiny, minute details that exist? So all of these details have to be attended to in the manifestation process. It might sound exhausting, but once you understand how all the details come into play, mastering them becomes effortless. So what are those teeny tiny minute details that I'm talking about? So some of them are things like your mindset, having a positive outlook when you are trying to create something. Another detail would be extreme focus on the end result. Another detail would be stepping out of the energy of what you don't want, so your present condition, and stepping into the energy of what you want. It sounds maybe more difficult than it is. So when I say step out of the energy of what you don't want, this means not focusing on what is, not complaining, not commiserating, not being upset over it, but just observing it and then stepping into, moving into the space of what you do want. So removing the focus from what you don't want into what you do want. Another element within the steps of manifestation would be clearing unconscious blocks or patterns, becoming aware of them and clearing them. Another step would be getting control over your thoughts. And there are many ways we do that. One of the amazing techniques that I have used is through chanting. And this is a way to gain mastery over the negative thought forms. Another element within the steps of manifestation is physical action. So in the end, you must take the physical action towards the desire you are trying to create. Now, in my experience, our dreams do not manifest until and unless we focus our attention on the many, many details. This means everything within you must line up with your dream. And I said a few minutes ago, that sounds very tedious. It sounds like there's a lot involved and it's too much work. But once you get the hang of it, it's not tedious. It feels very natural. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You understand that your vibration must line up with the vision of you in that new reality, you in that space of manifestation of your dream. Then you cannot not manifest the dream. And yes, that's a double negative. So what I mean is, not only can you manifest the dream, but the dream will and it must manifest. It will come to you naturally, as if by magic. It will be attracted to you. It's as if you are moving up to your future reality, and the future reality is perhaps moving back to greet you. Sometimes it moves back, sometimes you move up, and sometimes both of it happens at the same time. And when they collide with one another, that's when we get the outcome. The other day, I wrote an email about how an athlete would never go into a game without pulling out all of the stops. In other words, going into a game with determination, grit, perseverance, focus, creativity, knowledge, positivity, and skill, and more on top of that. So these are details the athlete needs in order to excel. And again, although it sounds like many elements and you say, oh, that's a lot of work, once you realize all that you need to garner together, it just becomes a very natural part of the process. Your life is like a huge sporting match, and within it are smaller games, and within the games exist all the details you need to win each game and move on to the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the finals until you win. And by win, I mean you accomplish something really tremendous, something you can be very proud of, something that only you can do in this world. Within your soul, when you become very quiet, you and only you know what this means. For each of us, this is different. Maybe for one person, the accomplishment means finding their soulmate and getting married. And this feels like a huge accomplishment. The person is so happy. They finally manifested this situation, this relationship they have really wanted to find for this lifetime. Maybe for another person, the accomplishment is landing a dream job that pays them more than they have ever made in their life and gives them freedom and is in the perfect work situation. And they rejoice. They have manifested this great job. For others, neither of those achievements seems remarkable because maybe they got married to their high school sweetheart and they created a great job at a young age. And so these things don't sound very tremendous to them. But it doesn't really matter what the dream is for you, and it doesn't matter when you achieve it. What matters is how hard it was, the hurdles you went through, what you learned, and most importantly, how you can then take the skills and details in manifesting your dream and apply it to other endeavors in your life. And then beyond that, how you can turn around and help others. So it is the journey, the process, the lessons, all the gathering of the details and the attributes you need, and the negative patterns you may need to do away with, that really makes the accomplishment so worthwhile. Manifestation is a process, but it is really the same process for everything we create. There are steps that work, processes to follow within the grander process, details to attend to, and then presto. It's like we figure out the secret keys that unlock the manifestation formula and make us winning athletes in the game of our life. Please know there is not now, nor will there ever be another you on this planet. The question becomes, how will you show up as the most athletic version of you in your beautiful life, ready to take on this great game of existence on planet Earth, moving through all of the small matches and games that take you from the ranks where you are a novice until you become a high-level athlete and you win. If you are interested in moving faster, in moving better, in moving more efficiently, look at some of the details in the way you are playing the game, in what you are speaking to yourself every day, in what you are thinking every day, and in all the elements of your process during the day when you are perhaps focusing on a certain goal. And be willing to readjust all of these things until you create what you desire. And the emphasis is on you, what you came here to be and do and have, not what your neighbors came here for. While we can derive inspiration from others around us and embrace a healthy competition, the real competition is within each of us. It's between our ears, in our minds. It's within our hearts, in the emotions we carry. It's in our physical bodies that hold memories and experiences. And it's in our spiritual bodies that contain remarkable powers that take us beyond our physical senses into mystical dimensions. When you consciously work on clearing out, cleaning out, fine-tuning all of the details, then you manifest with grace and ease and clarity. So today, I just want to tell you to go for it. And when you think you are alone, think again. For there are unseen forces cheering you on. These can be spirit guides, ancestors, angels, teachers, gurus, some concept of God, of the divine that you hold in your space. There are forces in other dimensions that are there to support you. So call upon them in order that you may excel with a superpower that baffles those around you and even sometimes baffles you. Now, within metaphysics and healing, I want to conclude by saying there are a host of methods we can use to make manifestation easier and more effortless. These techniques combined with real-world action yield powerful results. This is what I have studied and used for more than 30 years to craft a beautiful life, and what I am now teaching others who are ready to excel. So if you would like to learn more about how to create your dreams through a combination of metaphysical techniques, and metaphysical just means beyond the physical plane, and physical, real world techniques, please visit the website. You can click on the link and join our email list or message me for assistance. Your beautiful life is waiting for you. So today, start to look at the details in your life from moment to moment, from breath to breath, from thought to thought, from emotion to emotion. And if things are not showing up in your life the way you want, it's time for a reset of all those little tiny details. And I would be happy to assist you with that. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sai Ram. Jai Guruji. Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Hare Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya.